The dirt road to Pine Hollow hasn't been used in years. Its curves twist between tall pines that seem to lean inward, whispering with the wind. The world outside disappears mile by mile. No signal, no sound but gravel under tires. Alex drives, fingers tapping the steering wheel to hide his nerves. He's the one who planned this trip. To reconnect, he said. But even he isn't sure why he's brought them all back here. Maybe to make peace. Maybe to prove the past doesn't own them. In the back seat, Maya hums softly, scrolling through old photos on her phone. She's the sentimental one, always trying to hold the group together. Beside her, Ethan sits quietly, his eyes fixed on the tree line. He's changed. Thinner. Paler. Like someone who hasn't slept in months. Jordan, riding shotgun, keeps the mood alive with sarcasm, cracking jokes that land too hard, too loud. And Lily, she's last to arrive, stepping out of her own car when they finally reach the clearing. Older, colder, her smile brief and distant. They stand there for a moment, 5 silhouettes framed by dying sunlight. The air is sharper here, untouched. The forest breathes around them like something alive. Jordan breaks the silence. Feels smaller than I remember. Maya laughs. That's because you got bigger. Mostly your ego. The tension thins for a heartbeat. They unload their gear, laughter echoing between the trees. It feels almost normal, the way it used to be, until Alex notices something strange near the clearing. An old campfire pit. Not new, not theirs. The stones are cracked with heat marks, the ashes faintly gray, but still warm. Guess someone beat us to it, Ethan mutters, crouching down. His hand hovers over the pit. But who camps this deep? There's no trail for miles. Lily's voice is quiet, uneasy. Maybe they're still here. They look around. The forest is still, too still. Only the faint sound of branches shifting overhead. Alex forces a smile, brushing it off. Whoever it was, they're long gone. Let's set up before dark. But as the light fades, none of them notice the small thing half buried in the ash. A burned matchstick, still smelling faintly of sulfur. As if it had just been struck. Twist. Someone has already been here recently. By nightfall, Pine Hollow is swallowed in a velvet darkness so complete it feels alive. The stars hang distant and cold, scattered between branches like forgotten souls. Only the clearing glows. A small bubble of flickering orange against an endless wall of black. They've built their camp around the old fire pit they found earlier, adding their own logs and kindling. When the flames rise, it's almost too easy, as if the fire wants to burn. Jordan grins. See, still got it. Scout skills never die. Yeah, Maya teases. But maybe you shouldn't brag about playing with fire in a haunted forest. Ethan chuckles dryly, poking the flames with a stick. Haunted? Come on. These woods are just old. Old things can still remember, Lily says quietly. Her tone makes everyone pause. Alex meets her eyes across the fire. Something in her voice feels too heavy, too sincere. He breaks the silence quickly. All right. If we're doing this right, we need a rule. Everyone tells a story before the night's done. Scariest one wins. Jordan raises his can of beer. And what does the winner get? Bragging rights, Maya smiles. And maybe a little redemption. They all laugh, but that word, redemption, hangs oddly in the air. Alex goes first. He leans forward, shadows dancing across his face as he begins. So there's this old legend from around here. Locals called her the Widow in White. Story goes she was a mother who lost her son in these woods. They say she cursed the forest after she died. Anyone who mocks her, anyone who jokes about her pain, she shows up behind them and whispers their name. Jordan smirks. That's weak, man. You've got to start strong. Alex keeps talking, undeterred. They say if you hear her voice, it means she's already inside your head. And once she learns your name, a gust of wind slices through the clearing, scattering sparks. The fire bends almost horizontally for a moment, then snaps back upright. The group laughs nervously. Perfect timing, Maya says, half joking. But then, it happens. A faint echo, soft and breathy, repeats Alex's last line. Once she learns your name, they all freeze. Ethan straightens. Did you hear that? Probably the wind, Jordan says, but his voice cracks slightly. Maya shakes her head. No, that wasn't wind. Silence again. The forest seems to have stopped breathing. Then, from somewhere behind them, that same faint voice whispers a single word. Drawn out, almost tender. Alex, everyone spins around. Nothing but trees, darkness, and the soft hiss of the fire. Lily stares into the woods, her expression unreadable. You shouldn't have said her name, she murmurs. Alex forces a laugh, but his hands are shaking slightly as he tosses another log into the pit. The flames roar higher, brighter, as though pleased. Twist. The same whisper repeats the name of the ghost, and from behind them. The night grows colder after Alex's story, the fire popping like something alive, breathing in rhythm with their fear. They sit closer together now, not for warmth but for reassurance. The forest feels different. Listening. Maya clears her throat, trying to lighten the air. All right, my turn. Let's see if I can top the widow in white. Jordan raises his can. Good luck. It'll take more than a whisper to scare me. Ethan smirks. Give it time. Maya's eyes flick toward the fire. The flames reflect in them like gold coins. Okay, she says softly. This one's real. It happened right here years ago. The group quiets. There was a man, a solo hiker named Dylan Marsh. He loved disappearing into the wilderness, documenting trails. Locals said he camped out in Pine Hollow every year, always alone. But one summer he didn't come back. Ethan shifts uncomfortably. I remember that name. Wasn't it in the news? Maya nods. They found his backpack weeks later. His tent was burned to the ground, no sign of him. The weird part? There were no burn marks on the ground. Just ash, like the fire never spread, like it burned only him. Jordan laughs, though it sounds forced. So what, spontaneous combustion in the woods? No, Maya says quietly, staring into the fire. The investigators found something else, a melted phone. The last photo he took was of this exact clearing. That silences everyone. For a long moment, no one speaks. The only sound is the forest breathing in the distance, the chirp of insects, the faint rustle of pine needles. Then, Ethan frowns and leans forward. Guys, do you see that? They all follow his gaze. At the edge of the firelight, faint impressions appear in the dirt. A set of footprints. Bare feet, one step then another leading toward them. Is this one of your jokes, Jordan? Alex snaps. Jordan raises his hands.
Hey, I haven't moved.
The footprints stop right where the shadows meet the light. Then they sink slightly deeper, as if someone, invisible, is standing there watching. Maya's voice trembles. This isn't funny. Alex grabs a flashlight and shines it toward the tree line. The beam cuts through the dark and nothing, just trees and fog. When he lowers it again, the footprints are gone. Completely erased. The silence stretches so long that even the fire seems to dim. Then at a sharp sound, everyone jumps. Maya looks down at her phone, the screen flickering. No service, she mutters, but there it is. A new text. Her heart starts pounding as she opens it. Unknown, still lost, her breath catches. The name above the message chills her blood. From Dylan Marsh. For a moment, nobody moves. Then Jordan's voice, thin and shaking. Maya, that's the guy from your story, right? She nods slowly, eyes fixed on the glowing screen. The fire crackles, almost laughing. Twist. When they finish the story, Maya's phone buzzes with a text from an unknown number. Still lost. The sender's name? The hiker she just mentioned. The forest has changed. The firelight no longer just illuminates the clearing. It seems to stretch, casting shadows that slither between trees, almost alive. Every crackle and pop from the flames feels deliberate, like a heartbeat syncing with their own. Ethan clears his throat, glancing at the group. All right, I guess it's my turn. Let's see if you all handle this one. He leans forward, his face half lit, and begins. There's a legend about a stalker in these woods. He doesn't leave tracks, doesn't make noise, not until you're too close to escape. Campers say he watches from the shadows, always on the edge of the firelight. And if you step away, he steps closer. The others scoff nervously, but the unease in their laughter is palpable. Jordan nudges Maya. Relax. It's just a story. Maya nods, but her eyes never leave the surrounding darkness. Every rustle of leaves, every snapping twig sends a shiver down her spine. Halfway through Ethan's story, Lily volunteers to grab extra supplies from the car parked a short walk away. I'll be quick, she says, forcing a smile. But when she disappears into the dark, the wind seems to follow her, rising, whispering, pulling at the edges of the clearing. Minutes stretch. The story continues, but the group grows uneasy. Each crackle of the fire echoes too loudly. Each shadow seems to twitch in response to Ethan's words. Then the silence hits. Lily doesn't return. Alex stands, flashlight in hand, calling her name. The beam cuts through the darkness and nothing. No figure, no sound. Only the trees swaying as if whispering back. Panic begins to rise. Ethan tosses another log into the fire, the flames roaring higher. Maybe she's just hiding, he mutters. But even he doesn't believe it. Finally, they find something that turns fear into horror. Her flashlight lying on the trail. The beam is still on, pointing directly at a massive tree just beyond the reach of the firelight. As Alex approaches, his stomach drops. A half-burned handprint scorches the bark, deep and blackened as though branded by fire itself. The air smells faintly of sulfur and ash clinging to their skin. Maya swallows hard, shaking her head. This isn't happening. It can't be. Jordan's voice falters. We should leave now. Alex glances at the fire pit. The flames rise higher than before, almost beckoning. The warmth they once found comforting now feels predatory. No one moves. None of them can. And in that moment, they realize the stories they tell. The forest hears them, and the forest acts. Twist. They find Lily's flashlight still on the trail, pointed toward a tree, where her half-burned handprint is seared into the bark. The group moves frantically, adrenaline surging through their veins. The forest no longer seems like trees and shadows. It's a living maze twisting around them with every step. They try to retrace their path back to the road, but every turn, every familiar landmark, leads them back to the same clearing, the fire pit at its center. Flickering as if waiting for them, Alex breathes heavily, his eyes darting between Ethan, Maya, and Jordan. This isn't possible. We've walked in a circle, at least 3 times. Maya shakes her head, panic creeping into her voice. It's like the forest. It doesn't want us to leave. The fire, now taller and wilder than ever, crackles and spits embers that glow like angry eyes. The heat brushes their faces unnaturally strong as though it's alive. Every snap and pop sounds deliberate, a whisper of hunger carried in the flames. Jordan stumbles, kicking at a log. Enough. Let's just douse it. Maybe that'll... He grabs the nearest bucket of water and hurls it toward the fire, but instead of splashing harmlessly, the water vaporizes mid-air. A violent hiss erupts and Jordan screams as heat lashes his skin. Blisters rise instantly, searing pain that makes him collapse to the ground. "Jordan!" Alex yells, trying to pull him back, but the fire's roar swells, almost mocking. The flames dance higher, licking the night sky. It's no longer just a fire. It's a predator, a judge, a prisoner of their stories. Ethan trembles. It's not natural. It's feeding on us. On the fear. On our voices. Maya grabs a branch, waving it helplessly. We can't fight it like a normal fire. We have to... A sudden gust of wind slams through the clearing, extinguishing the smaller flames around the edges, leaving only the inferno of the pit. The fire leans toward them, crackling like it's laughing, a deep, almost human sound, echoing through the forest. The friends huddle together, their faces pale in the firelight, realizing the horrifying truth. Leaving is impossible. The fire does not want them to leave. And in that realization, the forest closes in. The trees seem to lean forward, branches curling like claws. Every shadow feels alive, watching, waiting. Twist. Jordan throws water on it. Wayman screams in agony as his skin blisters. The water turned to boiling oil in midair. After the terrifying incident with Jordan, the group huddles silently near the fire, hearts pounding. The flames burn unnaturally bright, illuminating every twisted branch and shadow around them. Their fear has sharpened their senses. Every crackle, every sigh of the forest feels deliberate, watching. Maya moves closer to the edge of the clearing, her eyes scanning the ground near the fire pit. Something catches her attention. A series of carvings etched into the stone surrounding the pit, partially covered in soot. Symbols resembling open mouths and curling flames stare up at her, as if frozen in a silent scream. "Guys, look at this," she whispers, kneeling. Her fingers trace the grooves, the rough texture biting into her skin. "These aren't random, they mean something." Ethan crouches beside her, squinting. "Those symbols. I've seen them before. I read about a cult from the 1800s. Storytellers who fed souls to a spirit they called the Listener." Alex frowns. "The Listener?" Ethan's voice lowers. "A demon of stories. People believed it manifested through fire. Every tale spoken aloud became a chain, binding souls to it. Once you told a story near its flame, you risked being claimed." Lily swallows hard, glancing at the fire. "So, that's why it reacted to us, why it's hunting us." Maya's hands tremble as she lifts a small piece of ash-covered parchment half buried near the pit. Faded writing in a looping ancient script spells out a chilling warning. To speak is to summon. A cold wind sweeps through the clearing, snuffing out smaller flames around the edges. The main fire seems to grow taller, leaning toward them as if acknowledging their discovery. The forest itself holds its breath. Alex's jaw tightens. "We need to be careful. Every story, every word we speak, it's feeding it. Binding us here." Ethan glances around nervously. "We've already told 3 stories. Lily's missing. Jordan's injured. The forest. It's not just alive, it's hungry." The friends exchange terrified looks, the weight of their predicament settling like a stone in their stomachs. They are no longer just telling stories. They are playing with a force older and more malevolent than anything they've imagined. Maya leans back, staring at the fire. "We're in its web, and I don't think anyone leaves Pine Hollow until it's done listening." Twist. The carvings translate to speak is to summon. The clearing is silent, save for the fire's low roar and the distant rustle of unseen creatures. Jordan lies groaning on the ground, his burned skin glistening under the eerie glow, while Lily's absence hangs like a shadow over the group. The air is thick with smoke and fear, each breath tasting of ash and dread. Alex wipes sweat from his brow. "We can't just sit here, we have to figure something out." Maya shakes her head, trembling. "We can't just fight it like a normal fire. It's smart. It reacts. Every word we say, every story we tell, it grows stronger. Ethan mutters under his breath, pacing. Then maybe we tell a story where we all survive. One where we escape. Alex turns to him, hope and fear warring in his eyes. It could work, but we have to be careful. We can't let the fire twist it. The group huddles closer, preparing to speak their safe story. But before anyone can begin, Jordan stirs, voice shaky, raw with guilt. I have to say something, he whispers. The others glance at him, wary. He takes a deep breath. Lily, I'm sorry. I came back here to apologize because I was the reason your brother died on our last trip. I never told anyone, not even you, Lily. I thought I could make it right, but I can't undo what happened. The words hang in the air, heavier than the smoke. The fire seems to quiver, flames stretching higher, bending toward Jordan as if hungering for his confession. Maya's eyes widen. Jordan, don't! But it's too late. His voice has become part of the forest now, echoing in the trees, amplified by the fire. The flames hiss, then roar in sudden intensity, dancing with a life of their own. The air grows hotter, thick with a metallic tang that makes their tongues stick to their mouths. Alex steps forward, voice firm. We have to continue. We need to finish the story, one where we survive. He starts carefully, narrating a tale where all 5 friends manage to escape the forest unscathed. The fire flares, crackling violently, and each word feels like it's being pulled from his throat. The forest leans in closer, listening. The fire dims slightly, almost contemplative, as if weighing their intentions, judging their worth. Maya whispers, panic rising. It's listening, not just to our story, to everything we feel, everything we regret. The flames flicker violently, reacting to their fear and honesty, leaning toward their confessions. They realize in chilling clarity, the fire doesn't just consume wood and ashes, it feeds on truth, guilt, and secrets. Twist. The fire dims. As if listening harder, by now exhaustion and terror have carved deep lines into the friends' faces. The forest presses in from every direction, the trees bending unnaturally, their shadows curling toward the fire like skeletal fingers. Every sound, the crack of a branch, the rustle of leaves, echoes too loudly in the tense night air. Maya huddles closer to Alex, whispering, We can't keep speaking. The fire, it's feeding off us. Every word, every thought we project, it grows stronger. Ethan, shaking and pale, glares at the fire as if it were a living predator. Then maybe silence is the only way. But the fire refuses silence. It hisses and roars, sparks snapping and swirling around them like tiny living embers, forming shapes that resemble faces twisted in agony. Every flicker seems to mimic their expressions, fear, guilt, regret, amplifying them. Ethan's mind snaps. Panic replaces rational thought. Stop it, he screams, grabbing a log and thrusting it into the flames with all his strength. The fire roars, consuming the log instantly, brighter, hotter. He backs away, but the fire seems to reach for him. I'll do it, Ethan shouts. I'll stop it. Before anyone can protest, he lunges into the fire pit. The flames rise higher, licking his body as he screams, a sound that shatters the night. But instead of being consumed, the fire seems to envelop him, absorbing him fully. His body glowing with the fire's unnatural heat. The flames dance and hiss, calmer now almost. Satisfied, Alex and Maya scream, rushing forward. But the fire snaps at them, forcing them back. The forest is eerily silent now, the flames moving with deliberate predatory intelligence. Then the whispers begin, soft at first, overlapping voices repeating the stories they've told that night, twisting words into new horrors. And then one voice becomes unmistakable. Ethan's. It isn't just a memory, it's alive. His tone, his inflection echoing from the fire. Every word he had spoken, every scream he had uttered, is now part of the inferno, trapped, twisted, serving the forest. Maya collapses to her knees. It's not just fire. It's alive, and he's part of it now. Alex can only nod, the weight of realization pressing down. The fire doesn't just burn. It collects souls, transforms them into stories, and whispers them back, binding its victims forever. The two survivors stare at the fire, terror-struck, knowing the forest has already claimed one of them, and it's hungry for more. Twist. The whispers stop, and Ethan's voice becomes part of them. Dawn is a pale rumor on the horizon, but the forest doesn't feel lighter. Alex and Maya sit frozen near the fire, faces streaked with soot and tears. Jordan is burned and unconscious, Ethan is gone, consumed, and Lily's fate hangs as a dark question mark. The clearing feels suffocating, as though the trees themselves are leaning in, watching, waiting. Maya shivers. It's almost over, almost. Alex shakes his head. No, it's never over. Not until the story ends the way it started. Until the fire says it's done. They realize one story remains untold. A story that binds the events of the night into reality. The story of the campers themselves. The fire waits, flames flickering higher as if anticipating the narrative. Alex clears his throat, voice trembling. We need to tell the story of tonight. About us, about everything that's happened. Maya nods, swallowing hard. Every detail. Every person. Every moment. If the fire is feeding on stories, maybe this is how we end it, Alex begins, describing the reunion, the first flame, the missing hiker, Lily's disappearance, Jordan's burns, Ethan's sacrifice, and every horrific event replayed aloud. Maya joins, whispering details Alex couldn't recall, filling gaps, recounting whispers, shadows, and the forest's unnatural movements. The fire responds. The flames twist, forming vague shapes of the missing friends, flickering in and out like memories trapped in smoke. Shadows stretch unnaturally long across the clearing, the ground warping, the air thickening with heat and anticipation. And then, the impossible happens. The world around them begins to shift. Dawn light creeps over the trees, but the clearing is no longer empty. Around the fire, 5 figures appear, silhouettes eerily familiar, charred but smiling. The shadows of their own friends. Alex freezes. It's finishing itself, Maya whispers, voice cracking. It's the fire. It's completing the story without us. Every word we said, it doesn't need us anymore. We're just witnesses now. The figures around the fire shift slightly, tilting their heads, grinning with a hollow familiarity that chills the soul. The forest exhales, quiet, patient, eternal. The realization hits both survivors. No matter what they say or do, the story always loops back. The fire always wants the same ending. 5 figures around the fire. Twist. The story is finishing itself, without them speaking. Morning light spills weakly through the trees, but the clearing is eerily silent. The air hangs thick with smoke and ash, smelling faintly of burnt wood and something far older, something unnatural. The fire, though reduced to glowing embers, pulses as if breathing. Alex and Maya sit on scorched ground, eyes wide, exhausted, hearts hammering. Their bodies ache, their minds reel from what they've witnessed. Jordan is motionless nearby, blackened and burned beyond recognition. Ethan's sacrifice, Lily's disappearance, and the fire's supernatural hunger leave a weight pressing on their chests. Hours pass. The forest remains still as if it's waiting. Then distant voices break the silence, while laughter, chatter, casual and unaware. A new group of campers has arrived, oblivious to the horrors that unfolded here. The newcomers wander into the clearing, spotting the old fire pit and the scattered remnants of the previous night. One of them notices a tattered notebook half buried in ash, its cover charred but intact. They pick it up, flipping the pages filled with stories. Some neat, some frantic, all signed with names spanning decades. One page stands out: "If you're reading this, don't light the fire." The campers laugh nervously, shrugging off the warning. Matches are struck and flames leap eagerly to life, dancing in the morning light with unnatural brightness. The fire seems to pulse, growing in anticipation, almost sentient. Then the shadows begin to stir. Faint, charred figures rise slowly from the smoke. 5 silhouettes, faces blackened but grinning, hollow eyes reflecting the new flames. The air grows hotter, heavier, charged with expectation. The new campers freeze, mesmerized, unsure whether the figures are hallucinations or ghosts. But the fire doesn't care. It waits patiently. The curse has passed on, eternal and patient. Each story told, each word spoken near the fire ensures the cycle continues. The flames lick the sky, hungry for new voices, new tales, new souls. Even as the campers debate fleeing, the shadows settle around the fire, smiling, waiting, timeless. The forest exhales, and the whispers begin anew, carrying voices old and new, each story folding into the next. Final twist. As the flames rise, 5 faint shadows appear in the smoke, smiling. The curse lives on,